So, as we're thinking about this shelter, we're going to consider first our terrain that we're going to be building this shelter on. We might have to keep pushing on for a little bit. We only have a few hours of daylight left, so we want to find a spot that is large enough for the planned shelter. So that's, when I say that, I'm also including the area of the shelter and of the fire. We need to have a big enough area we can have both. You're going to make sure it's elevated, provides drainage. You're not going to go down to a low spot. You're not going to set up right beside a lake or a body of water. That's where you're going to have a lot of cold issues, cold air coming in off the water at night. And then we're going to identify areas to protect from the wind, sun, and rain. So in here we have lots of trees to block the wind. If we're worried about sun, it provides shade. We're building a shelter really to make our protection from rain and sun though. So your predominant winds, your prevailing winds are going to be from the north or the west. So you're going to ideally make a shelter with the opening facing south or east, so that your shelter is protecting you from the north or west winds, which are going to be your colder, stronger winds. Then we're going to so we found our terrain. Now we're going to think about our location considerations. So we want proximity to a water source that provides potable water and food from fishing. Fishing, like I said, we put that at the back of the line. We have other things to consider, but let's build a shelter close enough we can go get water that's not too far away, but at the same time it's not too close to water where you're getting cold air coming in off of it. Proximity to a fuel source for fire during cold weather. It's not just cold weather, it's also summer. You're going to need that fire to maybe purify water, to cook, and you're still going to need to keep your core temperature up even in the summer at night. So you want to make sure you're looking for an area that has lots of dead, dry, standing fuel to sustain this fire. Proximity to your building materials. Do you have what you need to build your shelter you're thinking of? You don't want to be hauling materials a long distance. You're expending energy that you're going to be needing later on. Proximity to animal trails or holes. Try to keep them off of animal trails. That's going to have animal activity. It might just be a deer, it might be a bear, it might be a weasel climbing in and sharing your shelter that night, and it's not going to be fun. Select your areas that are close to or can be seen from aircraft above. So maybe build, when you're looking for it, see if there's a clearing nearby that you can get by, or you can have your signals out, your ground to air signals, pre-constructed and ready to go. Okay, we're going to cover that in a different lesson on the different types, but you're going to want a clearing so that aircraft searching for you can see you. And then we're going to estimate the time required to build a shelter before nightfall. So you're going to, depending on the amount of time available, you want to construct that shelter before the night. So a good rule of thumb is what you're going to do. You're going to take your fingers. You're going to hold your bottom finger at the horizon. Each finger is worth 15 minutes. So you're going to put that at the horizon, and you're going to count up to the bottom of the sun. So if this is horizon, here's your sun. That means you have 1 hour of daylight left. If you're doing this, you have 2 hours. Anything over that is inaccurate. Right now it's full noon, and we know that because we have our watch and it says it's exactly noon, and the sun is up high in the sky. Now, according to my hands, we only have 5 hours of daylight left. I know that's not true. I know we have 6. But when it's getting lower, in that 3-4 o'clock range in the afternoon, that's when you're going to be getting that. You're going to be able to use that to estimate how much time you have. So you're gonna have to work backwards. This is just like receiving a tasking. How much time are you going to have to do each task in? You're going to have to allot time for each step and get it done in that time frame. Then your next is sheltered from prevailing winds and preferably in the direction of the sun. If you can face it to the sun, you're going to be getting heat from the sun into your shelter, which is going to help. You don't necessarily want shade, especially this time of year. It's mid-October, it's going to be getting cold at night. We want to be getting as much radiant heat in as we can.